Hello. Uh, Good evening, viewers. Good evening, everybody. Good to have you on the show. Today, we are doing a very special show on health. Why health? You can see a lot of people talking about health, a lot of people talking about nutrition. But what we thought worthwhile doing is giving you from an expert her overview about what it really means by doing the right nutrition, because she will talk more from the evidence that what really helps to maintain a good health. Now, all of us don't know that maintaining a good health is a key consideration for good health. However, many of us try to drop as few pounds we go about it doing the wrong way, especially during pandemic situation while everyone around is going through high stress life. If we support Fit India mission by getting more valid inputs on nutrition and health, there is no doubt that corona is affecting every aspect of our life. There is a direct relationship between your diet, physical activity, and health. Your nutrition is a key player when it comes to physical, mental, and social well-being, and it's important to prevent these diseases. You would agree, viewers, that unfortunately the internet is rife with misinformation, and it can be really difficult to tell us what evidence based without reading the original research yourself. Myths that have been passed through word of mouth now spread like wildfire through social media, blogs, and even established medias. So, if the information is on your fingertips, though, nutrition myths would have a less pervasive than your grandparents' time. So, what we are trying to bring here is the nutrition expert. Here today, we have Ms. Rajshree Gadgil here with us on the panel. To talk about few things about Rajshree, she is a nutrition expert, a founder and CEO of Truwellth Integrative Health Centers and founder. Rajshree firmly believes that nutrition as a therapy can be modern day's most effective and safe truth in so many ailments like arthritis, inflammation, digestive disease, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. That's why she founded True Health Integrative Health Services and is a process of launching 50 integrative nutrition fitness counseling clinics. True Wealth truly believes in an integrative healthcare approach in guiding patients and healthy individuals to overcome their health concerns and manage self-health to reach ultimate goal of holistic health and happiness. Over to you, Rajshree, if you can speak about yourself.
Actually, it's such a pleasure to be with you, and you're hosting this show with a perspective that that we also at True Wealth we are actually supporting the Fit India movement, which has been aptly really started under the guidance and vision, of course, of our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi. I know that you would, of course, share more information on that. You've already given such a a big introduction of mine. I mean, I don't think I really need to express anything more. But as most of you would know, the Fit India movement, really, I would like to share a couple of slides quickly with you before we really jump onto today's topic as such. But here, if we see, of course, Meenakshi, did you want to speak about this? Because this is again a very a big topic, because almost 54%, there's data that 54% of Indians are physically inactive, and less than 10% actually engage in recreational activities, and the disease numbers, they're only growing, and as
I
we go
think,
ahead.
Rajshree, you did a great job. I actually missed out on this. My apologies, sincere apologies for
No,
that.
no, go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, Rajshree. It's a main concern area, especially in India. If you really look at the way we look at health, it's only we look at health, especially when you're sick. Otherwise, health takes the last, I think, priority in our priority list. It's the
Absolutely.
last. But if you really compare India with any other country, I think we are far behind the health regime that we need to follow, the health tips that we really need to follow, because we only follow it if the doctor asks us to follow certain regime. Otherwise, by fairly large, this you would not see anybody following the health regime. So it's interesting, though these figures really get your attention to the right direction. Uh, Second is, that there's works to be done in this country, especially with people with your counseling or anybody as a health expert who can talk to the audience and tell them how do we really get at par with any other country.
Yeah.
So it gives a lot of scope for people like you in industry to talk about what we should be getting the right overview about health, getting the right overview about nutrition to
Yeah.
people who are actually on the show or otherwise also. So the ownership definitely lies with a lot of people here to bring awareness. One, to get people conscious about what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. As I said in my initial, when I started my dialogue, that with internet, it's created so much of a havoc that
Yeah.
everybody wants to go through internet and get the smallest possible tip of what they feel is relevant to their health. But
Right.
they look at health in a holistic way.
Right.
Now, we have Mr. Narendra Modi, who is actually, I think, he's doing a great job, not only for country, but I think just to get, because I think the first time people are becoming so conscious about health, whether you talk about health, you talk about yoga. So I think he's got the right scheme of work for people to really consider. So can we play a small video here, Mahesh?
आज भारत में डायबिटीज, हाइपरटेंशन जैसी अनेक लाइफस्टाइल डिसीज बढ़ती जा रही है। कभी कभी तो सुनते हैं परिवार में 12-15 साल का बच्चा डायबिटिक पेशेंट हो गया। अपने आसपास देखिए, आपको अनेक लोग इनसे पीड़ित मिल जाएंगे। पहले हम सुनते थे कि 50-60 की उम्र के बाद हार्ट अटैक का खतरा बढ़ जाता है, लेकिन आज कभी कभी खबर आती है 30 साल, 35 साल, 40 साल का नौजवान बेटा बेटी चले गए, हार्ट अटैक आ रहा है। साथियों, लाइफस्टाइल डिसीज हो रही है लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर की वजह से, और लाइफस्टाइल डिसऑर्डर को हम लाइफस्टाइल बदल के उसमें बदलाव करके उसको ठीक भी कर सकते हैं। तमाम ऐसी बीमारियां हैं जिन्हें हम अपने डेली रूटीन में छोटे छोटे बदलाव करके, अपनी लाइफस्टाइल में बदलाव करके उससे हम बच सकते हैं, उसको दूर रख सकते हैं। इन बदलावों के लिए देश को प्रेरित करने का नाम ही फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट है।
Great.
That's amazing, Meenakshi. I think that video really says it all, isn't it? Such a such a down-to-earth prime minister that we have, and who's why down-to-earth? Because right up to our level, he's really thinking about our health, and he is promoting this movement on his own. He's standing there himself. I think that itself is this movement was really started last year, but with his presence, look at the amount of a number of people he has really attracted us towards. In fact, let me share a quick slide on what my perspective is about really Fit India movement. It's like why we as Truwellth also decided to go with it is because it's a movement to take the nation on the path of fitness and wellness, which we always keep advocating. And he's really envisioned this so well, and the Fit India dialogue, which he has started as yet another endeavor, is to involve the citizens of the country, to draw out a plan, to be a part of it, to take it forward. And as part of the movement, individuals, organizations, any number of fellow Indians can actually take this initiative forward. And which is why I think Truwellth, as Truwellth, we do a lot of online programs, so and also so many other activities. So we've decided to really be celebrating and supporting this movement as well. And we, with of course, thank you to you for conducting this program. This is the beginning of our week-long sessions, which we are going to conduct on Fit India movement as well. And I thank you for taking the initiative on behalf of Beauty with Brains and Bravery for actually taking this forward with us. But so over to you really again.
Rajshree, you have been always inspiration for all of us. So this is not the first show, in fact, you are hosting. But trust me, why I invited you to talk about this topic, because increasingly when I see people around, though I come from a profession of sales, you know that I'm a sales professional. And when I talk to a number of people nowadays in my company or otherwise as a colleague, fellow colleagues, I can see the lifestyle changes, the lifestyle which we are currently dealing with. It's becoming quite stressful, quite stressful. We're juggling with everything. Household responsibilities, office responsibility, late night hours, because you got to be available over the phone anytime they call you up. So I personally, I felt that why don't I speak to you and we bring forth some facts, probably which we have understood from the internet or from a grandmother or mother, that you shouldn't be doing this, you should not be eating this, you should not be eating that. But what is the right perspective of really getting into the good health? Okay, because I know that you will not talk purely from the textbook, because you have certain evidences that you have dealt with. Evidence-based talking is always relevant. Okay, so that's my personal belief, and that's the reason, Rajshree, I told you, please, can you spend some time with us and just brief viewers on what is right and what is not right, because so many myths around. If you really look at the myths, number of myths, you should not be eating carbs, you should not be eating red meat, you are not allowed treats. So you can after 8 p.m. Trust me, it's not possible. Nowadays, if you tell me that you can't eat after 8 p.m. because I get up at 8 p.m. to cook for dinner. So absolutely not possible for me, especially. Now, what we have to really build on, Rajshree, what I request you to do, build, because I know you come with wealth of knowledge on nutrition, on various facts. So what I really want to get for really out of this show is you would agree with me, Rajshree, that with all the fad guides promising rapid overnight weight losses, because now I see a trend, my friends saying that ghar pe baithe, so let's do dieting, because now we can follow the diet regime. So that's been a buzzword with a lot of my friends. Why don't we follow diets? But trust me, it's never worked for me. If you ask me personally, Rashi, it's never worked for me. That's why I don't believe in doing dieting. Okay, and often
Right.
conflicting
You're
facts about.
absolutely right, actually.
So,
Yeah.
and there you would see in the marketplace conflicting facts about nutrition and physical activity. Okay, that is really it's confusing for people to follow, and it can be very frustrating and overwhelming for clients to lose fat. Learning healthy habits from a professional like you, coaches, ensures that best success in long-term health and well-being. So, Raj, I have a first question for you. Is that people talk so much about skipping meals, which will save a lot of calories. We have myths about certain foods help you burn fat. What is that you can add to this, and how you will actually help audience to understand it better, or your overview about this fact? If you can get some.
Sure. So where first of all, I'll couple of things that you mentioned. You said online, and you did mention that people get online and try to get information. Uh, I am not against the fact that you should get online to get information, but sources are extremely important. And what happens with when we are lay people, for example, if I was trying to learn something about technology, and if I was trying to learn it online, would I probably go to the right source? Maybe not. So it is very important that you work with the experts to understand what is the right source, where should you actually be getting this information. Actually, part of this is also why we run the Truwellth programs, trying to get all the experts online with you, and you can talk to them live. So that's one thing. So going online and finding information is not wrong, but here's what even the Prime Minister is saying right now, and then this whole initiative of Fit India is saying that this internet itself is actually making us completely sedentary. And because of that, everything is at access of your fingertips. You don't even move, and you just don't want to even move for anything. So point is that this is what is actually taking us towards a worse lifestyle. So remember that that's one thing. And when that is actually getting us worse, Meenakshi, you're actually better. You're right, because you've tried and got tired of diets. But there are people out there, especially the young people in our in the next generation, and even our kids, who probably in school have already started getting into this notion that they need to look slim, and slim's definition has become fit. Now, does slim really mean fit? We don't know. I mean, there are so many stars. I mean, I would quote Marilyn Monroe's example. She was so lean and beautiful, but she died because of lifestyle issues that she had. So, it's not about being frail. It is actually, it is about being healthy. So, most of our health and fitness regimens, our nutrition and fitness regimens, should sort of revolve around becoming healthy, and not focus towards weight loss and looking. It's not about the outwardly fitness. Fitness means complete fitness. When we are talking about lifestyle diseases and being fit, it is not about looking fit. It is about actually being fit. Of course, from outside you should look nice, it just makes you feel better, but it is about building the stamina, building the energy, keeping your internal organs healthy. I think that is something we all tend to miss. Is all that we see, how does our hair look, how slim we look. That's not the point. Of course, these are markers of what's going inside our body, but we have to start looking inside our body. And you mentioned fat diets. So to that point, really, fat diets, see, some of these diets, I'll tell you, for example, there are diets like keto diet, which is right now very much in style and vogue. Now, does that mean that keto diet is bad? No, keto diet is actually used um, as a therapeutic diet in some conditions of health. So it is not that it's completely fatalistic diet, but the way people are using it for weight loss right now and are following it long term, they are actually causing they're causing more issues in terms of health than actually making you feel better. So fat diets is again something, you could try types of diets, but doesn't mean one diet which has worked for me is going to work for you, Meenakshi. It is not going to
Absolutely.
probably work for your husband. And when it comes to your son and when your daughter, you all are different, completely different. I love to talk about this, that you are what you got as genes from your parents, of course, but your genes came from your parents, and your kids' genes are coming from you. Mind that. And then the genes and the environment that we are exposed to, and then the nutrition that we're eating. So another interesting thing which the Fit India movement, one of the sports personality from Kashmir, where you actually come from, also your ancestors really come from. So the place, she very interestingly said that she lives in the valley, though she lives at heights where it's difficult to breathe. But she said the fact that we breathe such pure air is keeping us so much healthy. And it is so true that the air that you and I grew up in and the air in which our kids are growing up is so much different. So we have to understand what's getting cultivated in that air, what we are breathing. All this is completely different from what we did earlier. So we have to understand, though, that now we can't change the environment, but what we really can change is probably the nutrition. What we can manage is the nutrition. You can't change genes, you can't change environment. What you can really make a difference with is nutrition. And then it's also important today, there are so many pesticides, there are so many different types of re-engineering that is done, hybrid. All this takes away the nutritional content
Right.
of the foods also. So we have to keep all that in mind when we are consuming variety of foods. So that's where that's a few things I in the beginning itself want to highlight. And one more thing, when you said you don't like to diet, I am a firm contender of intuitive eating, and maybe towards the end of the talk, I am going to talk a little bit about what intuitive eating and mindfulness really is. So these are a few highlight points, and the most important, which I said, is that we forget that we need to focus on our internal organ health and not the external health or the external appearance that we all focus on only.
Rajshree, I fully endorse whatever you said. I fully agree, because whatever you spoke about, trust me, that's what I've been going through. Okay, just to talk about your statement on, I'm saying it's a bold statement though, but that we are forgetting that we need to have healthy organs. Okay,
Yes.
what really healthy lifestyle means is you having healthy organs so that you can breathe well. Your organs can actually work the way they need to function.
Yeah.
And just to support you on what you said on the environment, I would support you on that, because I come from Kashmir. I am born and brought up in Kashmir. Rajshree, you won't believe, when I was staying in Kashmir, I was like I was so thin. I was underweight always, because the weather was so good in spite of eating 5 to 6 times a day. Okay, so one, definitely the environment supports, the weather supports. That's one important thing. The way you breathe, you eat without pesticides, without any preservatives. That's an important fact.
Yes.
And
Yes.
second, the stress levels absolutely are nothing there.
Right.
The city ends their life at 6 o'clock. After 6 o'clock, if you want to visit somebody, it's just out of the question. People chill, people really, in Bombay, especially the lifestyle which we are dealing with, there is no end to work. You don't know when to stop and when to start. So that means that it calls in for a lot of good nutrition, one, which we forget because we are trying to look slim. Okay.
Right.
What it leads to is a disaster on your body. You are ending up with a lot of disease. Diabetic is one of the major concerns, which is on a rise if you really look at the number.
Yes.
If you look at the curve, I think India is the topmost level, because our stress levels never go down in spite of
Yeah.
I'm saying that we are the only country who has the outside support. We have people to support us for work, but still stress levels are high. for whatever reasons. So completely endorse your point on this, and I think you have targeted the right thing on the health and nutrition, which we solely have forgotten with rapid pace or with people trying to do a lot of things on the health.
Yeah.
Rajshree, another point which is actually which is bothering me, I'm talking from my personal perspective, is we hear people talking about salt is bad, and we should not be taking high protein diets because they're bad for kidneys.
Yeah.
So, what is your take on this, Rajshree? Do you think it is valid and it holds some relevance from the evidence point of view, or there's something better which you can add to this?
So you mean to say that salt in terms of hypertension, is that
Yes,
what you mean?
yes,
And
yes.
what was the other concern you had?
The high protein diets are bad for kidneys.
Yes. So
So, if it is bad, sorry, if it is,
mhm.
what is an alternative? So, what do we do?
Well, see, for instance, when you spoke about proteins, it's of course going to be a long answer. But also when it comes to salts, I think this is something which is a completely ununderstood phenomenon. You know,
Yeah.
in our body, again, salts are important. You know, so yes, but when you lead to a situation where you have hypertension, you are supposed to, of course, curb the salt you're eating, and your salt can be replaced with so many different alternatives. Like when you want to make your food tasty, you can add garlic, ginger, you can eat masalas, but you have to try to get away from salts, especially when it comes to hypertension, because it is about the electrolyte balance that's there, which is sort of disrupted in your body. And what happens is salt retains more water, and
Yes.
salt retaining more water in case of hypertension is a complete no-no, because then it puts more pressure on your heart to pump the excess fluid volume of your blood. So that comes to when it is salt. But on the other hand, electrolytes are something which are completely ununderstood. So electrolyte balance is extremely important in our body, and we will talk about it when we come to the hydration point. But the other statement which you've made was about proteins. So I would in fact like to share a couple of slides when we are sort of talking about the balance of a diet. So proteins, of course, I will take you to this slide. So, but what are these proteins exactly? Proteins are basically a part of the macronutrients, which are proteins, carbohydrates, and fats. Now, these are the three elements which actually give us energy. Now, in our
Okay.
country, what happens is, protein is something which, and it has not been like that traditionally. But, being the fact that, a lot of states and places in our country, there's a lot of, the rice is like a thing which is, eaten day in, day out. Wheat also contains a lot of carbohydrates. So, carbohydrates has been something, staple diets are something which you've focused on. Protein is something which we all are devoid of. So what we see, and these are three circles, if you see here,
Yeah.
in first circle we see there's almost 60% of carbohydrate, and this is typically us, 60% of carbs, hardly 20-25% of protein, and fat is something which most of the Indians, not ample is available, first of all. So you don't land up eating so much. That's the scenario. Now, the best scenario is this, where you're balancing out the carbs and proteins and fat that you're eating. Ideally speaking, for us, we should be eating around 35 to 40% carbohydrates, so that 35 to 40% of proteins, and the reason being that proteins are actually going to help us do the recovery in our body. So any sort of damage that is happening to our bones and muscles is actually taken care of by the proteins. And there's another thing where people don't realize that protein is a major component required for building bones also. So unless there's good amount of protein that we eat, the vitamins, minerals which form the bone, they will not have a mesh. There's like a mesh in which the minerals are going to sit. So that mesh itself is formed by the proteins. So proteins are extremely important from any point in time in the life, right from the childhood till you become old. So proteins have to be focused on. So that is why. But then when we talk about, and since you raised the point of proteins, I want to also highlight the fact that now there is this entire generation which is talking about eat proteins, and then everyone's just eating a lot of protein, or they're trying to consume those big tins of proteins. Now what do? They give us huge quantity of protein, but we have to first figure out if they are going to give us the right protein. So there are the right amino acids. So the proteins break down into smaller constituents, which are amino acids. Now, when protein digests, it will give these amino acids. So they are glutamine and arginine. And glutamine, arginine, isoleucine, leucine, valine, these are very important amino acids for any sort of recovery in our body. Also these days, where we are more worried about immunity. So these two amino acids are extremely important for the immune function as well, to fight infections. So both innate and adaptive immunity, which two types of immunities, adaptive as in acquired immunity, which is the antibodies we're talking about, and the basic innate immunity which we have. Both immunity for both proteins are super essential. So that's the reason why we see that proteins are so very important. And like I said, what amino acids these proteins are going to give us is extremely important. So eating variety of different types of foods, like you should be eating dairies, you should eat a lot of paneer, you can consume milk. Most people later part of their life try to avoid milk because slowly your digestion capacity reduces, but you should try to consume good amount of milk and paneer if you're vegetarians. If you're non-vegetarians, of course, you have lots of options, especially chicken and eggs are extremely good options for protein. But even in our country, when we talk about non-vegetarian diets, it's like half of the people are saying aaj somvar hai, aaj gurvar hai, so we don't eat non-veg. It's like you eat non-veg couple of days. Point is, non-vegetarian food should also be eaten as a diet, as a nutrition, and not as a diet. It should be eaten every day and day after in certain quantities, so you will get good amount of protein. And if you're not able to get it, which what happens in older people, they are not able to eat as much protein, digest the protein that they're eating. So in those kind of cases, or in younger kids when they have growth spurts, it is better to take some amount of supplementation, which is good for them. So that's really about protein. And the myths about protein, I know you want to talk about the myths. The myth is this, that how much more protein did I eat? It's not about how much more protein that you ate. It is how much recovery that happened inside your body. And a lot of times, if you eat too much protein and if it doesn't get digested, it is going to affect your organs, especially kidneys and liver. So it puts a load on these internal organs. So I'm coming back to the same thing, that you have to focus on your organs. In muscle banane ke chakkar mein, we should not affect our basic mechanism, because of which then later we are going to get all these lifestyle diseases. Today you'll be muscle man, and tomorrow you will land up in issues like having diabetes, having kidney diseases and things like that.
So thank you, Rajshree. In fact, you got the right perspective. I'm really liking everything what you're saying, because I can connect dots. Because as I said, I've been going through a lot of health diets, so to say. So I've been setting up a lot of diet regimes. So what the key takeaway for me personally, if I have to really get some key takeaways from your talk, is one should watch your body. Okay, so it depends on your body what you can take and how much you can consume. So it would be apt that whatever your body needs, you should take appropriate protein levels. I'm just going to talk a little bit from my end, Rajshree, if you allow me.
Yes,
now,
of course.
I'm just recollecting my younger days when I was young. My dadi used to feed me with a lot of paranthas. Okay, so you talked about carbs. So she used to pack my tiffin with 4 or 5 paranthas, because she felt that otherwise I'm going to get weak. And with lesser proteins. So I'm just trying to recollect those days but still then I was fit. So anything you would like to add on that, the old paratha days where we were
So
following the right quantity of
now, you know what? Another myth that we have is ghee is not good, butter is not
yes,
good.
yeah,
Well, I mean, you can look at some of your dadas and nanis, and they will probably be more healthier at 80 than we are
exactly,
going to be.
exactly, exactly.
So, of course, and then today we have all these bigger, I wouldn't call them myths because, gluten does affect people who have intolerance for it. But there is a big, noise about the fact that everything should be gluten free. But hey, this whole past generations have been living on gluten, right? All our wheat is going to have gluten. We have been living
Yeah,
on maida. But yes, we have seen that white flour, which is maida. So anything white, we should try to stay away from white sugar, white maida, and that is true because they are tougher on our intestines. Plus, these are the ones which are noted. There is evidence that they are the ones which are going to cause lifestyle diseases. But having said that, it is about what you eat and how much did you then exercise, and how did you really balance it out. So here's where the fitness perspective comes in. Eating what goes in, you have to also utilize it. So when you're eating parathas with a lot of ghee, doesn't matter, you go and work out and convert them into a good health. Yes, ghee of course in also good amounts, ghee butter in good amounts is not bad for health. They have a decent ratio of omega 369, which is we call the EPA DHA quotient, which is, I won't go into too much details because that's too much for
yeah,
the
that's
viewers.
not right.
But they have a good omega 369 ratio, and which is actually why ghee is good. But frying in ghee is not a good idea because the bonds in ghee break, and that is why the ghee, once it's fried, it becomes bad for our body. If you've seen, if you fry something in a kadai, I'm giving a simple example, in a kadai, and you try to see the oil the next day or by the time you're done with the frying, the oil becomes thick. Now
Yeah,
imagine, this is the point, and I'm just again trying to correlate. It's not exactly happening that way, but imagine if this kind of oil is running in your arteries, and if this kind of oil is sticking everywhere, if it sticks, you try to clean the kadai or the tin where you keep it, it's very difficult to take the oil out. The point
agreed.
is, these are the oils, these are the rancid or the oils which are bad, we keep calling it bad fats. These are the ones which actually stick into our arteries, and that is what really causes those plaques and blockages in our arteries. So we have to be very cautious about how we are eating the oils, what is the boiling point of the oil. All these things are extremely important. So though even olive oil is something which people talk about so much, saying it's so good, but if you heat olive oil beyond beyond a temperature, it's actually going to be extremely bad for you. So understand that olive oils are much better on salads if they are just eaten
Okay.
raw, and so goes with ghee. So but what about these fats? Should we eat them or not? We must eat them, because
Okay.
more than actually cutting down on bad fats, is also very important to eat good fats. If you eat good fats, they are the ones, there are mechanisms, biochemical mechanisms in your body where these good fats actually combine with the bad fats and throw them out of the body. So you've heard about HDL cholesterol, LDL cholesterol, and HDL is good. So HDL cholesterol is good because it actually helps us take away the harmful cholesterol from the harmful fats from our body. So while we should eat less amount of bad fats, we should eat more good fats, and these good fats are very easily present in a lot of foods, like fish especially. People don't eat fish. If you don't eat fish, fine, just as a medicine, consume those fish oil supplements that you get. But because they are the best source of omega 3, that is the EPA DHA, and you have to watch the content. The content also has to be high. It is noted, there are so many living examples. If you consume this on a day-to-day basis, choices, you are definitely going to stay away from lifestyle diseases. So fish oil, like I said, is very important. Secondly, if you are a vegetarian, you still adamant not going to eat it, you have other options, like you can eat flaxseed, you can eat avocados, you can eat walnuts. All these things also have and reasonably decent oils also comprise of, of course, olive oil, peanut oils. These are more reasonable oils to actually cook your food in. So that's how it is. But eat fat in moderation, and definitely eat good fat. So I hope I answered the, the paratha frying or the paratha being heavy. The other thing is, if you might have noted, our nanis and dadis definitely would have done this. Is that when they made parathas, you can stuff those parathas with paneer, which is a good protein. You can stuff the parathas with cabbage. You can stuff it with carrots. So many good fiber inputs. You can make methi parathas where you're getting all the good stuff stuffed in the paratha, and you are able to eat that. So also when you're making parathas, we normally don't cook these vegetables completely. We add them raw, and so when they're cooking on the pan, they they stay half raw, and that actually helps in the digestion process also. So I would actually put her parathas, if they're eaten in a healthy way, in the on the healthy side of it, and not the unhealthy side of it.
Thank you, Rajshree. I'm going to start parathas. Trust me.
Yes, and you can always contact me to get so many different good varieties of
Good
parathas.
varieties of. So I
There are
need
so many
recipes.
things we have in our tradition, like in our Maharashtrian tradition, we eat something called thali peet. It's
Yeah,
again a mixture of so many
I
different
love
grains.
that.
And
I
you talk
love
about
that.
multi-grain, so that's multi-grain. And that again, if you put onion and if you mix vegetables in it, you put cabbage in it, it tastes excellent. So it in itself can become a whole meal for you. If you're in a rush today, put everything together, especially in these times of COVID, when it's so difficult, these are the easiest recipes we can have. And you can add a little bit of fat to it also. So it gave you carbs, gave you proteins, because you put paneer also in it. More amount of it, you put vegetables, so you got vegetables and fats. So you got, it's a complete package for you.
Thank you, Rajshree. I think you have demystified the myths that to lose weight you have to cut carbs, to lose weight you have to cut fats, and you have to cut down on high protein diet. So I think a lot of things have got this demystified. Now, Rajshree, I'm just coming back to our discussion. If you remember, a few weeks back, I was talking to you that I'm tired, Rajshree, and I don't know, I'm not able to cope up. So you suggested something that I should eat antioxidants. You remember that discussion we had, Rajshree?
Yes.
So do you think it really helps? And if yes, how does it help? I just want to understand if you can just tell audience and me as well, because I could not discuss with you over that over the
Well,
phone.
the point is, when we talk about antioxidants again, let me see if I can if I'm going to be able to pull out. I love to show some of these slides, because then it becomes very easy for
Yeah, please, because
people to understand. And you spoke about, you did speak about stress also. So
yes.
I am correlating both of them that you're saying. The pain, the fatigue. See, this is really, I'm glad I could find this. But it's not only always about mindless eating, but the point is, today, we have so much of depression, anxiety, and we work so hard. Even we women, especially now that, earlier we could manage home and then do work, but today we have to work and manage home both. And right now it's completely chaotic, where we have to manage everything on our own. What is really happening is that the stress levels are extremely high. So you will ask anyone, you're very candid to say this, but me or anyone I know, we talk about, everyone is going through this. This is actually called a modern living syndrome, and everyone is sort of facing depression, anxiety at some point in life. And what that is really doing is, it puts something called a this is also called chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, what it really does, is that it creates a fibromyalgia kind of a situation in our body. So our muscles are going to ache and pain, like it mentions here, and there is going to be a constant fatigue, pain that we experience, and we are irritable. We realize that. I mean, yesterday I was talking to a friend, and she was like, "There's just so much to be done that we just land up fighting," and it's all because of we are getting all these. The anxiety attacks kind of situation. And you know what? The good news though is that, like you rightly said, this can be handled because again, we're not able to change our environment. We're not going to be able to change our genes. So what can we change? Is the only thing that we can really change is our food. And this this entire syndrome sort of at the back silently inside our body is creating oxidative stress and chronic inflammation. So these both are actually together. So it's not only stress, it's oxidative stress. So what happens is there are free radicals that are forming in our body. And why that happens is initially when you're eating all these wrong foods, or if you're exposed to wrong environments, or if you're stressed, there are cells in our body. It's inflammation is actually the immune process of our body. So what starts happening inside our body is our body cells start throwing out the toxins out of the body, and in the process it starts gobbling up all the dead and bad debris in our body. But when the tandem is broken and there is a chronic inflammation, it at times also happens when you eat and you're not able to digest well. Now, what happens is if you don't digest well, the undigested food sort of goes into the bloodstream. If it's in the bloodstream, the cells will go and try to eat that up and throw it out of the body. Now, if you have persistently bad digestion that is happening, this inflammation will continue being in your body. Now, inflammation is a process which induces then. So, inflammation is actually a part of our immune process, the innate immunity, which we call, and it gives rise to oxidative stress, which is it's not oxidative stress really. It creates a lot of free radicals in the body. Now, these free radicals also are the ones which are doing the job of throwing out the bad stuff in our body. But when too many free radicals are formed, then what happens is there is a chaos in our body. And this is also happening in a lot many number of patients who are actually unfortunately succumbing to COVID today. So this process is extremely bad, and this can only be balanced. The uh, free radicals actually have a negative charge on it. Only antioxidants can actually, which have a positive charge, go and attach to it. This is chemistry, but it can get attached to it. And when they attach, they're the only ones which can neutralize those free radicals, which are actually causing the oxidative stress. So difficult, but in a simplistic way, this is what is happening to your cells when we talk about oxidative stress. That your cell is like that. You see, the apple is like that. When apple gets oxidized, it becomes this. Similarly, a cell gets oxidized by these free radicals. This is what is happening. And this scavenging process can only be neutralized by the antioxidants, and which is why you know um, we need to eat two types of things. I mean, of course, we need to eat anti-inflammatory agents first of all. There are so many that are traditionally available. For example, Google's type of an ingredient, which is traditionally our own ingredient. Now we hear about curcumin, which is actually turmeric, our own research, out of our ancient insights. And then we talk about Withania somnifera, it's again ashwagandha. So these are so many of these herbs that are already there. So many of such ingredients can really bring down the inflammation. I'm actually trying to even bring up a few slides here. This is another thing which, vitamins and minerals. So a vitamin mineral balance normally breaks down in our body, and if we don't eat well, then there is insufficiency. And these are the ones which actually, for example, if you look at vitamin C, it's a very powerful antioxidant. There is selenium, there is zinc, all these elements that are there present. We need to consume more of them so that they can really strongly act as antioxidants and they can take care. So I have some herbs which are mentioned out here. You can you have ashwagandha, you have amla, tulsi, ginger, turmeric. So many of them, who can take care of as an antioxidant property. And we should be eating a lot of vegetables and fruits because both these vegetables and fruits are not only going to give us antioxidants, but they also give us good number of enzymes. So from that perspective, antioxidants, if I was able to explain in a simple manner, are extremely important to keep. They are the two main reasons for lifestyle diseases are inflammation and oxidative stress. And imagine these are our internal processes to safeguard our body. But just because we are doing wrong things, the processes don't stop; they just keep continuing. So that's what is causing the lifestyle diseases. There's another term called, autoimmune. So autoimmune, as in, it's your immune system eating up your own cells. So then that is sort of giving rise to arthritis, cancers, those type of diseases. And we have to stay away from this. And I think with Fit India movement, I think, we should take support from them and also take this forward more and more.
Rajshree, I always thought you were an MBA, but now I'm getting to know you as a doctor. And I'm really glad that you have the right slides for my all myths. I never knew that you would have answered with so much of a backup data for my myths.
Yeah.
Demystify my myths. Thank you very much, Rajshree. I think this is what I think most of us have not understood because as you rightly said in the beginning, we started that we are all looking after, want to look good, we want to look slim, but we are forgetting the basics of health, basics of nutrition, which is
Right.
a main problem for all the health disease we are actually going through right now. So demystifying those facts was very important, and you've done a wonderful job on that. Let me congratulate you for that. So thank you,
Yes.
Rajshree. Now, another thing which is really bothering me personally. I'm talking
Yes.
personally, so I know that most of the viewers here would support my myths also. Now, there is a myth going around that you should have more of a fiber content in your food. Okay,
Oh, wow.
I just want to hear your few medical words.
So, I mean, firstly, I'll ask you a question. I mean, how many people, when, have you ever been to the gym?
Most of the times.
Okay.
I'm a high gymmer. I'm using gym.
Which is actually good, not bad. It's not necessary to go to the gym, but if you are going to a gym, because that's our lifestyle. So we don't have as much place to run outside out here very easily. So we go to the gym and we have a lot of things where we can work out on. But having said that, when you go to the gym, apart from the fitness regimen that they put you on, what are the other things that they normally suggest? When it comes to, they'll tell you to go to this beautiful looking, very nice nutritionist who's there, and they're extremely good. They're doing relentless job. But what do they normally tell you to do, first of all?
That's first that they would really guide you that you take a good nutritionist. That's the first thing. Then a personal trainer,
Yes.
which I normally have gone through. And third is focus on diet would be 75% and 25% would be exercise.
Yes.
So these are the three fundamentals they build your health regime.
Okay, so there are studies which say that nutrition has more input when it comes to fitness, and even when you want to lose weight, nutrition plays bigger role than fitness. That doesn't mean in no way that a fitness regimen is not needed. Without an input and output, without a fitness regimen, we can get nowhere. But having said that, you said diet. Okay, now diet is the word which I have now. It's not that I'm totally against it, but I want to say a few things about it because that's where the whole issue lies. And because when you're told to diet, they will put you on all sorts of high fiber diets, and
Yes,
their favorites are carrots, cucumbers, and they'll tell you to eat bhakris and everything. And then what happens? You're like, oh wow, now I'm going to lose like 5 kgs of weight this month. And what happens really is you give up. And you may do the first five,
absolutely.
but the ones later you're not able to. It is because of two reasons. And believe me, you're not responsible for it. It is because your nutrition is not giving you the energy. It's not giving your mind the energy and your body the energy. It is in fact taking away nutrients from your body, putting on you on heavy fiber, which you said, which your intestine is not even able to digest. And then what happens is your gut is not in a good shape. And if your gut is not good in a good shape, see again, gut, and allow me to share the slides because they're very interesting slides on the gut. And I'm going to flip some of them and try to show you some things out here. So when it comes to the gut, I'm looking up the slide which I can show you. So there is gut has basically uh, when we talk about gut health. I'm trying to pull out the right slide for the gut health so that I can show you why gut health is so important really. Okay, here's it. Here it is. So this is the thing. Here you can actually see that
Yeah,
gut is our gut is the second brain, what it is called. And according to me, gut is the most important organ. And it's not me who's saying it, but Hippocrates, who was the first doctors in the human history, is that he said that all diseases really begin from the gut, and gut is the most important organ whose health has to be kept good. Now, why is it called the second brain? Because 90% of the neurotransmitters, it has equal number of neurotransmitters as the brain has, and 95% of our serotonin, which is a chemical which gives us a sense of well-being, is actually produced in our gut. So, and then there is also a link between the gut and the brain. So if what I'm trying to say is that if you're not eating right things, if you're loading yourself with too much fiber, then essentially what is happening is that your gut is not feeling good. If your gut is not feeling good, that gives signals to your brain. Then the brain is not feeling good. The brain is not feeling good. You're not going to the entire cycle. Then your gut again doesn't feel good. So it's a cycle, and it's a bad cyclical process which starts off, and that really puts you off the diet. It is not you, it is the improper nutrition regimen that you really are on. So then I am trying to now look up for the fiber slides, fiber thing which you said. So if you look at women 50 and younger, we should try to get 25 grams a day, and men should really shoot for 38 grams. But it is not only about how much fiber. Now you have to watch the complex fiber. Like there are soluble fibers and insoluble fibers. You have to have proper balance of what you're eating. If too much insoluble fiber can also give you trouble. And when you're eating too much fiber, like for example, when I said the carrots and cucumbers at times can be very very difficult for people to actually digest. So, and then that really creates the problem. Also, when they're upping your proteins, they'll up a lot of your proteins, and our guts are not very used to eating too much of protein, so that also is not digested very well. So ideally, when you're put on diets, you need to watch your enzymes that you're eating. One very important aspect I always keep stressing on, and believe me, you go out and you had a meal outside, or you're gymming, if you have supplements of enzymes, you will realize how much life becomes more calmer, easier, and you can even lose weight easy if you're able to and build good muscle which people are normally looking at in gyms. But it is extremely important that we eat enzymes because they are the catalyst for actually digesting what we're eating. Fats, proteins, carbohydrates, fiber, for everything there are specific enzymes, and if our body is producing it, if we are not able to produce enough of it, then there is an issue, and we should supplement it. If we don't supplement it, our body will exert, especially our pancreas, which is an organ which secretes a lot of enzymes. It will stress it, and if it stresses, then uh, uh, then the point is that Meenakshi, you know that what pancreas is most known for what? For insulin. So but it is also very importantly known for the digestive enzymes which we don't know. So if it is there's a compulsion on the organ to produce more of the digestive enzymes, it puts too much pressure on it, and which is the reason why the whole health of the organ suffers. And if it suffers, then it is also going to then also the insulin production is going to suffer, and then is the time when diabetes can also get induced. So understand the fact that from a simple thing where you were talking about you went to lose your weight, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And then you can actually come back with you could in a few years go with the diabetes. And how did you get it? You will never know, because you were eating erratically. So these are simple things, and allow me to say a few more words about something where I like to showcase also a few aspects about the of course the type of foods that if you wanted to know. I did mention earlier that you need to eat raw vegetables, fruits, then the enzymes really get retained in your body, and we don't end up eating too much of raw vegetables and fruits these days. So make sure that papayas, pineapples, apples, bananas, these are the kind of fruits you should be eating a lot of them, so that you can get those enzymes. And if you're not getting it, then make sure that you should get supplementation on that. Apart from that, I think uh, one another thing we miss on, and I think we women miss on a lot of it, is that because we never have that self focus on our health. Hydration is something which we forget most of the time. We forget to drink enough water. So these are the two things which are important when we go to the gym. And so if we are gymming, and we are extensively gymming, or any sports people, because people who are watching this program for fitness, if you are extensively going to gyms, running, losing a lot of salts in your sweat, because you're running and doing rigorous exercise, you have to remember that water is not enough. You have to make sure that you have to have electrolytes with it. So don't, again, in this place, don't shy away from having a good electrolyte drink along with it while you are exercising. That will just help you help you do more, because you will feel more energized at the end of it. After you have had a very heavy workout, you feel loss of energy. So that doesn't happen when you keep your electrolytes up, and with that, if you're able to take vitamins, minerals, or antioxidants with it, then you're energized to complete your entire workout. So what I'm trying to say here is keeping the energy up, eating the foods that are going to keep you mentally happy and energetic, and physically happy and energetic. That's extremely important when you're trying to lose weight, and not how much you are starving yourself really of the nutrients. So use nutrition as an approach. Don't use diet as an approach in anything. Use nutrition as a medicine if you want to say, but don't stay away from food.
Rajshree, trust me, uh, I'd heard about enzymes a lot. I keep on reading on the internet, on the books. Today I really understood what does enzyme do to our body and how does it really support. Okay, I knew though that it is a catalyst. It has a catalyst reaction, and
Yeah.
it really helps us build a good body. But the detailing which you gave us, I was not aware. Okay, maybe some of the audience would have been aware, but personally speaking, not knew so much about it. Uh, Another thing, Rajshree, which is little, I think most of us would want to understand.
Yeah.
why is red meat no from a diet perspective? Is it good, bad? Because why I'm telling about this, I being a Kashmiri and we are pure non-vegetarians and heavy mutton eaters.
Yes.
So I would like to understand what is that you have to say about red meat, because though everybody is shifting to chicken now, but red meat in Kashmiri family, it's something which you have to eat.
Yeah. So I wouldn't completely say that, of course, red meat does, it's shown now, there are so many studies that it increases, heart risk. But if you can, and it is because of the bad fat really that it has. And you're talking about normally lamb, but there's also people who eat a lot of pork and beef, and all over the world. But all of these are really shown to have the bad effect and risk basically on heart disease, and that is because of the bad fat that it gives. But if you try to cook it at least in the right way, if you're able to eat lean red meat, and that for that, if you say, for example, you're going to oven roast it, bake it, those could be ways that you could consume red meat, because it does also contain good source of protein and iron, along with all the bad things that are being spoken about red meat. So, but I would say that it should be eaten in moderation again. It's not that you should not just see it at all, though I am of the school of thought, but that's again something which it's not about everyone. It works for me. So I some foods which I know are not going to be good for me, I just stay away from it. For example, potatoes. Potatoes are not totally bad, because they can actually be eaten as a side, and they are a good source of carbs, and you can eat it in limited quantity. But I stay away from it. I'll stay away from the best Mumbai food, which is fried vada pav.
Vada pav.
I stay away from it because I know that I won't be able to stop at one. So it's better to stay away from it. But so you can opt both. If you it is going to be bad for your health if it's going to be consumed in huge amounts. The other thing that we could actually do with these kind of foods is to eat a good amount of vegetables and salads along with it. You can also use yogurt in cooking these recipes, because all of these things that we additively do with these kind of foods can actually make it more safer to eat. As much possible, try to eat processed red meats, because they are the ones which are going to be the worst for you. So avoid that. If you're eating fresh and you're eating in moderation, there should be no, and then go exercise because you ate a lot of it. Then there is no issue. Earlier, what used to happen, as you mentioned in Kashmir, that you do eat all of them, but you also have a lot of activity.
A lot of
The
activities.
plain simply walking to one place or the other itself is so much of activity which we don't end up doing today. So if that is the case, and chicken, of course, is a very good source of protein. So it has taken an edge over red meat, because it doesn't have the bad fat content as red meats have it. But even chicken may not be always very easily digestible for everyone. So it also should be eaten in good amounts, but it should again be moderation. Don't overeat something just because you think it's going to be super good. That's how it is. And yeah, that's really. I mean, I hope I answered that question of yours.
Very well.
So you're
Very
saying
well,
I'm saying
Rajshree.
no, I'm not saying bad to any food, because food is not bad. In first place, we have to stop thinking about food as bad. But food is good, but some of the foods are not so good, and we have to try to eat them in moderation. Every food is giving us something or the other. So first of all, we have to take this mindset of that any food is bad.
So, Rajshree, I can only say now that I am a foodie. I'm completely a foodie. So you are encouraging me to eat more.
So if you really want to hear something more on it, well, you're a foodie, right? So I did do one session on intuitive eating, and you should go back see that. I'm going to do a next series on it where you can actually find out what type of hungers you get at what time, what type of eater you are, and if you know all those things, it's like getting yourself completely aware what is the type of eater you are and what are the type of hungers you normally get. Because there's an emotional hunger also and there is a physiological hunger also. So if you're more like a physiological hunger person, then you're fine. I mean, then you don't have to always think about that you're a foodie, but you have to realize that eating for taste is also extremely important, because that think about it now. There was so much of lockdown right now, and how many of us missed on our chocolates? A lot of us did. We
Not
missed on
us.
a lot of things. So uh, is chocolate bad? I mean, eating it in moderation is not bad, but at times these kind of foods, for example, we made a lot of ice creams at home. We were not supposed to eat outside ice creams. We were not supposed to eat ice creams also. So we converted those ice creams probably into more fresh cream and those kind of things, but tried to keep it low fat, tried to eat it in lesser quantities. But did we not eat it? We did, because we had to keep our senses also in place, because otherwise you would go mad. Lot of people cooked so many recipes. Why did they do that? Because it was helping their mental psyche. So food also has that component of it, that it makes you feel good. Why are you a foodie? It's again, a foodie is a concept. I'm sure you'll have a lot of friends and family who are also foodies, because you can't be a foodie alone.
Yeah.
It's about the whole thing that you
You
like
need
to go to.
somebody, right?
You go to the place, you eat it, and it's about what you eat, and that spoils us, but you shouldn't let us spoil ourselves. But still, being a foodie is actually good. That means you love food. Yeah, and
Good.
there actually, I'll add a little bit quickly about intuitive eating. I just want to share
Yeah.
one or
If
two
you can
things
do
again.
that, yeah.
Yeah. So again, what is intuitive eating? Like I said, hunger is a physiological need. So you should rely on your internal satiety. Your body tells you, where the day when you can actually be, you can start focusing on this and you eat intuitively. You're actually born intuitive eaters. As a baby, when you were hungry, you would cry for milk. You got your milk, you would shut up and sit there. As you grew up a little bit more, you would throw tantrums, and once your mom fed you, you would keep quiet. So point is, uh, it's a physiological need, and so we have to listen to our internal signals, that it says, now I'm feeling hungry. When you are starting to feel hungry, that is the point. You have to realize, now you should get to food. You should not get to food when you're super hungry, because when you get to food and you're super hungry, then you can tend to binge and eat too much, and all those things happen, and you can get a hypoglycemia, and those times then you will end up eating more. So eat when you start feeling hunger. Eat as much as when you realize that you're almost full. That is the time you should stop, and your body will signal all that. So there
Yeah,
is
yeah.
there is no
Agree.
calorie counting, no rules that are needed. Honestly, you have a lot in your brain and your gut, that it can do the job on its own, and that now you're eating too much of some fat and you should stop. Your body will tell you that I am not able to eat and digest more of this fat now. Stop there. But for that, you should of course know what is causing that heavy feeling, what is causing you problems with your digestion. If you know that, then you can actually use this intuitive technique more effectively to yourself. So don't deprive yourself of nutrition. Diet, normally this is what happens. You first start dieting, you eat salad, you'll eat it for 15 days, then you'll get bored, then you'll start thinking about ice cream, then you'll eat ice cream, and then you'll start feeling bad about eating ice cream. So it's a vicious cycle. This is a good example of what a dieter and what a intuitive eater is. Simple thing. You went to a party, there was pizza that was served. Doesn't that pie of pizza look very tempting? It does. So you went to the dinner party, and then when pizza was ordered, you didn't. The dieter said, no, I can't eat this. If I eat this, tomorrow my dietitian will shout at me, or I'll put on weight. Whereas the intuitive eater, and this is what I would do. I eat a little piece of the pizza, or eat only one pie of it, and then come home and have a light dinner. So, you didn't deprive yourself. You didn't look bad in the entire party that you did not eat, and at the same time, you achieved what you wanted. So that's what it is. And one more stalwart I did mention about Hippocrates, who was our first doctor. Who doesn't know Albert Einstein? And he spoke. This is what his definition of intuitive mind. He says the intuitive mind is a sacred gift, and the rational mind is a faithful servant. So every time we are rationalizing, if we should eat red meat or not, how much protein should we eat carbohydrates or not, we become servants of that whole preaching. But he says we have created a society that honors the servant, and we have forgotten about the gift that we have. That we do have, we are gifted with an intuitive mind, and more that we start using the intuitive mind. So look at these principles, and it's not even, we're not even talking about nutrition, but it is about it. So and this intuitiveness, I think, can also be incorporated in fitness. And I can go to it. If you have any more questions, I would also
Just a
want to talk about
question,
it.
just a question, because these are probably my questions because I deal with it every day.
Yes. Yes.
When I'm anxious, I am really stressed, I think I do a lot of mindless eating. Okay, so I tend to eat a lot, and I am not able to stop. Though I know that yes, I cannot, I shouldn't be eating, but I think it's true with everybody when they are stressed. So, is it good to eat at that moment of time and then come back, or what is your suggestion or recommendation on
Well, it is something that you cannot avoid. Okay. Now, most times we know that these are the patterns. We know that a high protein diet is good. We should be eating complex fibers. This we know as a science. Now,
that?
what does our body know? So, for example, supposing I'm taking an example, someone is stressed uh, had to satiate his emotions with eating. So it's going to be emotional eating. We ate a lot of fried stuff. Now
Right.
when we realize that we are in this emotional trauma and that we now need to eat, first of all, fridge, for example, that's the place we go to first. We should section it in such a way that we should keep foods which are going to be good, and we know that these are going to be able to satisfy a binge. For example, even if you have a cupboard where you normally keep your snacks, keep nuts out there, keep simple thing, keep almonds out there, and
Okay.
you can lightly roast some almonds and just keep them. Imagine the next time you feel like binging and you binge on those almonds. First place, you're not going to be able to take a bowl full of almonds and eat it, right? Because it takes
Yeah.
time for you to chew it. So first trick is that it made you chew. Now, when you start chewing, you're chewing your emotions. It's like that. And then when you ate first 2, 3, 4, 5, you ate up to 10, for example. When you go up to that 8 and 10, that is the time when your chewing has already started slowing down and your mindfulness has started coming there. And so then start mindfully chewing that. When you start doing that, it starts satiating you in a very different way. So, food as a therapy when you're not feeling emotionally good, this is what it is. It's a simple example that I gave you. At that time, if you're going to go and binge on an ice cream, probably might be detrimental. But I can tell you one thing, it's like, look at your kids. If your kid loves ice cream, which most kids do, right? If they're stressed, give them a bowl of ice cream and tell them that you're going to get only that much, and you'll see what happens to them. It's, that as a mom, right? When you give them that, and you're not going to give them more, so they will stop at it and they will feel good about it, and their whole mood changes because they get a little bit of sugar. That little bit of sugar is not bad to actually activate them, and also the whole feel of the ice cream or the coolness sort of brings their yeah, their emotions down. And then give them in restricted quantity, and then of course you're going to feed them with all healthy stuff. So couple of examples how to manage stress with food.
Good, Rajshree. Thank
Looks
you.
like you got lost
Yeah,
in
no, no, no.
thinking about the ice cream I'm thinking about the almonds, I guess.
So you're actually asking me to go out and just get one of the flavors. No, thank you very much, Rajshree. I think very good inputs rather to deal with stress, to deal with mindless eating. So
Yes.
I think you said it, and we though all knew about it, but somehow we tend to forget these basics, as we rightly said, mentioned in the beginning also.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else that you think from the fitness?
Well, I would like to add just a couple of points from my end, and maybe summarize things at the end. But otherwise, I think we've covered. You had
Almost
some
everything.
very extensive questions where we were able to cover a lot of aspects, and thank you very
Right.
much for that, because you're really being a professional who is way up high in sales. You're taking so much of interest in bringing this information all out to people out there, and you have such stressful schedules. Even through that, you're so watchful about so many nitty gritties of food, and you ask so many relevant questions. Is just amazing. Meenakshi, it's been
Pleasure,
such a
pleasure,
pleasure to
Rashi.
be with you.
I think we all professionals, I would say, whosoever is working in corporates, we deal with stress every now and then, the lifestyle diseases. I think most of us, if you ask any of my colleague or in my office, everybody is almost having diabetes, hypertension, because that's what we actually go through every now and then. Customer deliveries not happening in time, customer asking for unreasonable discounts. So we go through this stress every now and then. And as I was talking to you some days back also, that nowadays I eat my lunch at 4:30 because I am not
Yes.
somehow able to catch up. So my schedule on eating is completely gone for a toss during
Yeah.
this pandemic. So I'm sure most of us or most of the viewers here on the show would must be going through the same health trauma which I am personally going through.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much, Rajshree, for helping us, for guiding us, definitely, and getting us the right inputs on nutrition, why it's important, what does it mean to our internal organs, what does it mean to us as an individual.
Right.
I think it was a great alignment uh, on the
Yeah.
nutrition, health, and body. What we normally, as a common man, we examine nutrition pyramid and speak in groups about our diets using speaking prompts. We tend
Correct.
to listen to many health guides giving information on diet, exercise, ye karo, wo karo, this is not right, that is not right, and
Correct.
matching information. Trust me, I've been matching information. Oh, somebody said this, so I'll let me match information with diagrams, complete and fill on nutrition and fitness. But you coming from a purely one from the fitness background, and then uh, having that I think glimpse from the field, since you are day in and day out doing this with a lot of doctors. I know you do a lot of work in terms of getting the right things in the marketplace. So hearing from you with evidence, because not only you're talking from pure whatever you have learned, but talking to so many people, so many patients, so many doctors. So I think it gave us a right perspective. Thank you very much, Rajshree, for taking our time and really getting the right things to the audience. So would you like to summarize further?
Sure. Yeah, I would definitely want to leave the viewers with a few pointers in the end as to whatever we spoke through this session. This, of course, though we were trying to run as a support, as actually taking up the Fit India movement and taking it forward. It's such a noble initiative taken up by the government, and thanks to such a great visionary prime minister that we have, who has taken this forward. And but when, because of which food really should be utilized as energy, so that we will, and as a nutrient profile, so that we are able to build good bone, muscle, and we are able to build stamina, we have good energy for doing day-to-day activities and for doing any sort of fitness regimen and keeping our depressed minds activated. So I think and the most important thing that we are battling today is immunity. So for this, really, I think food should be utilized. And when we talk about fitness, also there we will be having a lot of talks on different types of fitnesses. But what I really think is there also we need to be a lot intuitive. We should be actually focusing on how good do we feel by doing certain exercises. So again, we should learn different type of exercises, maybe from the gym, maybe for different trainers, instructors, but we should develop our own intuitive regimen. We should understand what makes us feel good. So doing a good cardio exercise along with doing some very good stretches and giving our entire body a good exercise is extremely very important, very very important. And we should make sure that this fitness workout sort of will boost our energy, and it can also, it should also be able to do one more thing, that it should like food, it should be therapy, it should make us feel better. It fat in our body. So all that it does, so make sure that we exercise our full body and mind with the fitness regimen. This is something which I want to emphasize, and utilize nutrition, because nutrition is a fuel to actually take fitness ahead, and the fuel to also take away the lifestyle diseases. And not food is a problem, could have been a problem because you ate it wrongly, but food is only going to be your therapy. So utilize it that way. And a few things which I think most important thing is we should have a good nutrition regimen, we should exercise, and we should extremely remember one thing, that we should sleep well. So these are important things, and some pointers which I emphasized were that we should eat balanced meals, which is good amount of vegetables, fruits, proteins. We need to focus upon all this, and make sure that the proteins are giving us the right amino acids that are needed. We have to correct any sort of vitamin mineral deficiencies that could be there. Also, in terms of fibers, we have to make sure that we are eating sufficient but not excess of too much of fiber. And the fiber, we have to watch the complex fibers. Make sure that we are well supplemented with enzymes, from whatever food that we're eating. If not, supplement us with enzymes. This is one area where I emphasize on supplements, not everywhere. And there are good bacteria also. So you have probiotics which you can eat. So many good things, and make sure which Meenakshi said, oil. She mentioned ghee and butter. So you have to make sure that we get good amount of omega-3, which is good fat. And a few other things is we should eat intuitively, which I said. Don't watch a portion sizes. Let your gut tell you that now is enough, and the gut will also tell you next morning that last night you ate too much, so now I don't feed me too much. So listen to your gut, be intuitive about whatever you're doing. So that's really summarizing from my standpoint, and I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to talk about all these facts.
Pleasure always ours, Rajshree. You're doing a wonderful job. So great initiative to support this initiative of PM Modi. So I think we all should contribute in whatever smaller way we can.
Yes.
Especially during this pandemic situation where everybody is struggling,
Yes.
everybody is going through tough times. So your small inputs, if they can help, it can help somebody. Let's do it together.
Yes.
And if we,
And viewers, you should also remember that nutrition is something which is very very personalized. It is what works for you is not going to work for others. It is very important at times. When you are suffering from all these diseases, like you're taking advice on from your doctors, you should also take a good advice from the nutritionist, and it should be in tandem with your doctor. but you should be taking good advice on nutrition. It is very, very crucial, because nutrition has shown now that so many diseases can be reversed with a good nutrition regimen, and that can actually help us get more fitter from inside. And I also want to thank the viewers for coming down and listening to us and encouraging us.
Thank you, Rajshree. God bless you. And wish India a very health and safe journey through this pandemic time. Thank you very much, Rajshree.
Thank you, Meenakshi.